all love getting lost in a good character, but have you ever heard an actor's real voice and been completely shocked? Today we're diving into the fascinating world of actors who sound nothing like their characters in real life. From thick accents to squeaky tones, today we're exploring the stars whose real-life voices will make you do a double take. This is Cinematic Odyssey, and let's discover the secrets behind these unexpected transformations. Renée Zellweger, Bridget Jones's Diary.
The Oscar goes to Renée Zellweger.
When Renée Zellweger brought Bridget Jones to life, she had us all convinced she was a quirky, wine-loving Brit, navigating love and life in London. But did you know Renée is actually Texan through and through? Renée Kathleen Zellweger was born and raised in Katy, Texas, a small town near Houston. Growing up, her soft Southern twang was as natural to her as sweet tea. She wasn't the theater kid type at first. Renée was a self-proclaimed tomboy who excelled in sports and even dreamed of being a journalist. It wasn't until college, while taking a drama elective, that she fell in love with acting. Renée's big break came with a Jerry Maguire, but it wasn't until she took on the role of Bridget Jones in 2001 that she truly became a household name. For the part, she underwent a complete transformation, not just in weight and demeanor, but also in voice. Imagine this, a Texas girl swapping her Southern drawl for a pitch-perfect British accent. She spent months preparing, immersing herself in British culture, and even working at a London publishing house undercover to master the nuances of speech. By the time filming started, her transformation was so convincing that many British fans didn't even realize she wasn't one of their own. Renée's natural voice is light, with a distinctive Texan lilt, but her portrayal of Bridget was all clipped vowels and British humor. To this day, her performance is hailed as one of the best accent transformations in Hollywood history. However, some purists weren't happy about an American actress being cast as such a quintessentially British character. Renée proved the critics wrong, not only nailing the accent but earning an Academy Award nomination for her role. Renée's career soared after Bridget Jones's Diary, with roles in Chicago, Cold Mountain, and later winning an Oscar for The Judy. Despite her professional success, she's known for being intensely private. Her personal life has occasionally made headlines, like her brief marriage to country singer Kenny Chesney and her low-profile relationship with musician Doyle Bramhall II. Millie Bobby Brown, Stranger Things.
Sure, why not? We'll go through two packets of Tic Tacs. So we did.
It was awesome.
But it was, yeah.
When Millie Bobby Brown first appeared as Eleven in the Stranger Things, her shaved head, stoic expressions, and sparse dialogue made her an unforgettable character. But fans were even more shocked when they heard her real-life voice, a far cry from the quiet, American-sounding Eleven. Born in Marbella, Spain, to British parents, Millie Bobby Brown spent much of her early childhood in the UK before moving to Florida at the age of 8. From a young age, she had a flair for performing and loved imitating accents, which would become a defining skill in her acting career. Her parents were so convinced of her potential that they sold everything to move to Hollywood and support her acting dreams. Millie's breakthrough came with her role as Eleven in Netflix's Stranger Things at just 11 years old. The role catapulted her to global fame, but it wasn't easy. With almost no lines of dialogue in the first season, Millie had to rely heavily on facial expressions and body language to convey Eleven's emotions. Her muted, Americanized performance had fans convinced she was just another child actor from the States. But the truth? Millie is British to the core. Her natural voice is a polished, distinctly Southern British accent, full of charm and poise, a stark contrast to her character's gruff and reserved manner of speaking. Millie's ability to switch seamlessly into an American accent has left many fans stunned. During interviews, she often surprises viewers with her natural British accent, which feels worlds apart from Eleven's clipped, cautious speech. In fact, her American accent was so convincing that casting directors initially didn't realize she was British. She's credited her accent skills to growing up watching Hannah Montana and other American shows, mimicking the voices she heard. After Stranger Things, Millie's career skyrocketed. She starred in major films like Enola Holmes, where she could finally embrace her British roots, and Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Despite her young age, she's already an executive producer and has launched her own beauty line, Florence by Mills. Millie is also vocal about her personal challenges, from being thrust into the spotlight at a young age to facing online bullying. Her resilience and maturity have made her a role model for many young fans. Cillian Murphy, Peaky Blinders.
And the Oscar goes to Cillian Murphy.
Thomas Shelby, the cold, calculated gangster leader of the Peaky Blinders. His voice, deep, gravelly, and commanding, perfect for a Birmingham-born anti-hero. But did you know the man behind the character, Cillian Murphy, sounds nothing like that in real life? Cillian Murphy was born in 1976 in Cork, Ireland, where he grew up in a tight-knit family immersed in Irish culture. Unlike his character, who spent his youth navigating the industrial grit of post-WWI Birmingham, Cillian's early years were filled with music and creativity. He initially pursued a career in music, fronting a rock band with dreams of fame. Acting wasn't even on his radar until his late teens, when a school play sparked his interest. Despite this, Cillian's Corkonian accent, a lilting, melodic Irish tone, has remained one of his trademarks. After a stint as a musician, Murphy turned to acting, landing his first notable role in Disco Pigs in 1996. He gained international attention with 28 Days Later, and cemented his reputation as a versatile actor with roles in Inception, The Dark Knight trilogy, and The A Quiet Place Part 2. However, it was his role as Thomas Shelby in Peaky Blinders that skyrocketed him to global fame. To play the leader of the Shelby crime family, Murphy had to shed his natural Irish charm and adopt a gritty, no-nonsense Birmingham accent. To perfect the Birmingham accent, Murphy worked closely with dialect coaches and spent significant time with locals from the region. He has admitted in interviews that the Shelby voice took a toll on his vocal cords due to the deeper pitch and gravelly tone he adopted. Fans often express surprise when hearing him speak in interviews, where his Irish accent comes through. The contrast is so stark that some initially don't recognize him without the Shelby persona. Cillian's performance as Thomas Shelby has been widely praised, earning him a cult following and making Peaky Blinders a cultural phenomenon. Despite his fame, Murphy is notoriously private, shunning the Hollywood lifestyle to live in Dublin with his wife, artist Yvonne McGuinness, and their 2 sons. In interviews, he often downplays his celebrity status, emphasizing his love for simple, everyday life. His humility and low-key demeanor are a far cry from the ambitious and ruthless Shelby. Daniel Davis, The Nanny. Remember Niles, the witty butler from The Nanny? With his razor-sharp British accent and biting comebacks, he was as iconic as the leopard print Fran Fine wore. But here's the twist. Daniel Davis, who played Niles, isn't British at all. Daniel Davis was born in Gurdon, Arkansas, far from the posh manners of England. Raised in the American South, Davis grew up surrounded by Southern accents and charm. His interest in acting began early, performing in community theater as a child. He later honed his craft at the Arkansas Arts Center and moved on to work in Shakespearean theater, where his knack for accents and character work truly shone. Before The Nanny, Davis had an extensive career in theater, becoming a seasoned stage actor known for his versatility. His big TV break came in the 1990s, when he was cast as Niles the Butler, a role that would cement his place in pop culture history. What's remarkable is that Davis didn't just play Niles with a convincing British accent. He embodied the quintessentially dry British wit, to the point where many fans assumed he must be from the UK. In reality, Davis's accent was the result of years of training and immersion in classical theater, not a British upbringing. Hearing Daniel Davis speak in real life is a shock to those who only know him as Niles. His natural voice carries a mild Southern cadence, which is a far cry from the crisp, upper-class British accent he adopted for the show. The contrast is so stark that even die-hard fans often express disbelief when they hear him in interviews. After The Nanny, Davis returned to his first love, theater. He received acclaim for his stage performances, including roles in La Cage aux Folles and The Invention of Love. Despite his fame, Davis has kept a relatively low profile, focusing on his craft rather than courting the spotlight. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine. When you think of Wolverine, you picture a gruff, brooding, cigar-chomping mutant with claws of adamantium. But when Hugh Jackman opens his mouth in real life, the warm Australian charm and theatrical flair might leave you doing a double take. Born in Sydney, Australia, Hugh Jackman was the youngest of 5 children in a devoutly religious family. Growing up, his childhood passions were sports, journalism, and theater. He even considered becoming a physical education teacher. Jackman's love for performance blossomed in his teenage years, leading him to study acting at the Western Australian Academy of Performing Arts. Little did he know, his combination of rugged looks and classical training would make him a Hollywood superstar. Before he was Logan, Hugh Jackman was singing and dancing his way through musicals. His breakthrough role came in Oklahoma, on the West End stage, showcasing his vocal talents and debonair persona. However, it was his audition for X-Men that changed his life. Initially not the first choice for Wolverine, the role was offered to Dougray Scott, Jackman jumped in last minute, and fans of the comic book series couldn't believe how perfectly he embodied the feral, tough-as-nails anti-hero. On screen, Wolverine's voice is gravelly, low, and intimidating, matching his gritty persona. Hugh, however, speaks with a polished, smooth Australian accent, full of warmth and wit. Jackman once revealed in interviews that perfecting Wolverine's deep, raspy voice left his vocal cords strained, especially after yelling iconic lines like, "Get out of here, bub." He had to balance his voice work carefully to protect his ability to sing for his other passion, musical theater. Hugh Jackman's career soared thanks to X-Men, but he refused to be boxed in as an action star. From Les Miserables to The Greatest Showman, he's proven he's one of the most versatile actors in Hollywood. His performances have earned him accolades, including a Golden Globe and an Oscar nomination. Off-screen, Jackman's personal life is just as endearing. He was married to Deborah Lee Furness since 1996, and their strong relationship was a staple of Hollywood positivity. However, the couple separated in 2023, marking a significant shift in his personal life. Despite this, Jackman remains a beloved figure, known for his grounded nature and philanthropic efforts. Hugh Jackman nailed Wolverine's fierce growl, but his real voice is nothing like it. Whether he's battling foes or singing on stage, Jackman's range always keeps fans amazed. Lupita Nyong'o, Us.
This is our summer home.
Okay.
We just got in today, so...
Once upon.
When Lupita Nyong'o took on her dual roles in Jordan Peele's Us, she didn't just act, she became her characters. And nothing was more chilling than the haunting, guttural voice of Red, which sent shivers down the spines of audiences worldwide. But did you know this voice wasn't just creepy? It was inspired by a real medical condition? Lupita Nyong'o was born in Mexico City to Kenyan parents and raised in Nairobi, Kenya. From a young age, she was surrounded by art and activism. Her father, a prominent Kenyan politician, instilled in her a deep sense of identity, while her love of performing blossomed during her teen years. After studying at Yale School of Drama, she burst onto the Hollywood scene with her Oscar-winning role in 12 Years a Slave. Lupita's rise to stardom was meteoric, but she's never been one to shy away from challenging roles. In Us, she played 2 diametrically opposed characters, Adelaide, a loving mother, and Red, her eerie doppelganger. What set Red apart, aside from her menacing demeanor, was her deeply unsettling voice, which Lupita crafted with meticulous care. When fans first hear Lupita Nyong'o's real voice, it's a complete 180 from the unsettling rasp of Red in Us. Lupita's natural speaking voice is smooth, refined, and melodic, carrying an air of grace and international sophistication. She speaks with a subtle blend of Kenyan and global accents, a testament to her multicultural upbringing. To create Red's voice, Lupita drew inspiration from spasmodic dysphonia, a real-life speech condition where the vocal cords spasm involuntarily, causing irregular speech patterns. She explained to People magazine, "It's sometimes emotional, sometimes physical, sometimes inexplicable, where your vocal cords involuntarily spasm and create this irregular flow of air. I built off of that and experienced someone with the condition. I did more research and met with people to talk about their personal experiences with it." Her dedication went far beyond research. She stayed in character both on and off set, using Red's haunting voice even during breaks. This intense method acting wasn't just a creative choice, it was a way for Lupita to fully embody the fractured and terrifying psyche of Red. Off-screen, Lupita is a powerful advocate for diversity in Hollywood and a best-selling author of the children's book Cillian. She's also notoriously private about her personal life, preferring to keep the focus on her craft and activism. Lupita Nyong'o's performance in Us showcased not just her acting chops, but her ability to dive deep into the psychological and physical demands of a character. Her chilling voice as Red remains one of the most unforgettable aspects of the film, proving that sometimes a performance can truly get under your skin. Austin Butler, Elvis.
Oh, baby, baby, baby.
What happens when you spend years living in someone else's skin? For Austin Butler, stepping into the role of Elvis Presley left a mark so deep, even his voice changed, and it hasn't fully gone back. Born in Anaheim, California, Austin Butler began his career with small roles in Disney Channel and Nickelodeon shows like Hannah Montana and Zoe 101. With his easy charm and boyish good looks, he became a teen heartthrob. But behind the scenes, Austin was working towards something bigger, a chance to show his depth as an actor. That opportunity came in Elvis, Baz Luhrmann's 2022 biopic. Winning the role of the King of Rock and Roll wasn't just a career-defining moment for Austin. It was the start of a transformation that would change him forever. To embody Elvis, Austin underwent a level of preparation that bordered on obsession. Over 3 years, he studied every detail, from Presley's swagger to his unmistakable voice. He trained his vocals tirelessly, perfecting the Southern drawl that defined Elvis. By the time filming wrapped, the voice wasn't just an act, it had become second nature. Fans noticed that even months later, Austin still sounded like Elvis during interviews and public appearances. Austin admitted he didn't realize his voice had permanently shifted until it made headlines. "I often liken it to when somebody lives in another country for a long time," he explained. "I had 3 years where Elvis was my only focus in life. So I'm sure there's just pieces of my DNA that will always be linked in that way." The intense singing rehearsals, sometimes requiring 40 takes for a single song, likely took a toll on his vocal cords. Austin joked that he may have damaged them in the process. Whatever the reason, his post-Elvis voice became a topic of fascination, with viral comparisons showing just how much it had changed. The role was a career game-changer. Austin earned a Golden Globe, an Oscar nomination, and praise for bringing a legendary icon back to life. But the price was steep. In interviews, he's admitted the role consumed him, affecting his daily life and even his identity. Austin Butler didn't just play Elvis, he became him. And while the king's reign in Austin's life may be over, his voice is a reminder of just how deeply art can leave its mark on an actor. Jodie Comer, Killing Eve.
And the BAFTA goes to Jodie Comer.
Think of Jodie Comer in Killing Eve, and Villanelle's flawless British, Russian, or French accents likely come to mind. But here's the twist. Jodie's real voice sounds worlds apart from any of the cold-blooded assassin's personas. It's enough to make fans do a double take. Jodie Comer grew up in Liverpool, England, surrounded by the distinct Scouse accent that defines the region. Raised in a working-class family, her early life was far from Villanelle's glamorous escapades. She attended a Catholic girls' school where her acting potential caught the attention of her teachers. Odie's journey to stardom began with small roles in British TV dramas like Doctors and The Casualty. Her big break came with My Mad Fat Diary, but international acclaim arrived with The Killing Eve. The role of Villanelle required her to be a linguistic chameleon, mastering accents from Russian to Italian and even American. Villanelle's adaptability allows her to shift accents to suit her targets, but Jodie's real voice reveals her Scouse roots, a sing-song cadence full of warmth and charm. Her Liverpool accent is so distinct that it feels worlds apart from the mysterious and composed Villanelle. Fans watching her interviews for the first time often express disbelief at the contrast. The transition from hearing Villanelle's manipulative elegance to Jodie's down-to-earth Liverpool banter is as shocking as it is delightful. Post-Killing Eve, Jodie Comer has solidified her place as one of Hollywood's most talented actresses, earning an Emmy and a BAFTA. Despite the fame, she remains connected to her roots, frequently sharing stories about her family and love for Liverpool. Jodie's natural Scouse accent has been a viral topic, especially during award speeches and interviews. The stark contrast between her bubbly, relatable tone and Villanelle's icy sophistication left fans in awe of her talent. At a BAFTA ceremony, she even joked about her accent, saying, I hope you're keeping up. Nicole Kidman being the Ricardos.
But I liked you, and he was like, not now. I'm married now.
Nicole Kidman has dazzled us in countless roles, but her transformation into Lucille Ball for being the Ricardos might just be her most impressive yet. And no, it's not just about the red hair. It's her voice that left audiences floored. Nicole Mary Kidman was born in Honolulu, Hawaii, to Australian parents but grew up in Sydney. Her Australian accent was a hallmark of her early career, and though she's now known for seamlessly slipping into American accents, that skill didn't come naturally at first. Young Nicole was painfully shy but found her confidence in acting classes, where she developed a passion for storytelling. Nicole's first big Hollywood break came with Days of Thunder, alongside Tom Cruise, but she truly cemented her star status with films like The Hours and Moulin Rouge. Over the years, she's become a master of reinvention, taking on roles that require physical, emotional, and even vocal transformations. Taking on the role of Lucille Ball in Aaron Sorkin's Being the Ricardos was no small feat. Lucille is one of the most iconic figures in television history, known not just for her comedic timing, but also her distinctive voice. Nicole had to master two voices for the role: Lucille Ball, the real-life person, a heavy smoker with a deep, commanding voice; Lucy Ricardo, the high-pitched, animated voice of her on-screen character from I Love Lucy. Nicole Kidman went all in for this role, spending 2 months perfecting Lucille's voice. She worked with a dialect coach to nail the exact tone and cadence. She even smoked herbal cigarettes to replicate Lucille's raspy vocal quality, a method Lucille herself used in real life. On The Jess Cagle Show, Nicole explained the challenge. Finding her voice was probably one of the key things because there's actually two characters. There's Lucille Ball, who was a heavy smoker and had a much deeper voice, and then there's Lucy Ricardo, who actually is placed way higher, an octave higher. Balancing these two voices required immense focus and attention to detail, but the result was nothing short of remarkable. Hearing Nicole's Australian accent in interviews often surprises fans who only know her for her American roles. In Being the Ricardos, though, it wasn't just the accent. It was the uncanny ability to channel two distinct voices. Nicole's transformation was so complete that even Lucille Ball's daughter, Lucy Arnaz, praised her performance.
So there you have it. Actors who sound nothing like their characters in real life. Whether it's through training, natural talent, or pure surprise, these stars keep us on our toes both on and off the screen. Who surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more inside scoops on your favorite stars. See you next time.